What's up, everybody? Never thought we'd be doing one of these again. At least not with, video. It's been a while. Everything doesn't look as perfect as it can, but that's because, shit happens, I believe is what they say. And nothing wanted to cooperate, so here we are. But now that we have some video and some stuff going on here, we could do it again. We look like we know what we're doing. Today we're going to talk about some shit that, irritates the hell out of me, and I'm pretty sure everyone else. That is, the morally superior left as they make themselves out to be, and how fucking hypocritical and ridiculous they all are. So, welcome back to video. Welcome back to the Jesse Rucinski Show. And if you're watching this, enjoy this before we start. Hopefully you enjoyed that, because I sure as hell did. If you're watching this, if you're listening to it, I'm guessing you just heard it, but pretty damn cool. I fucking like it. Like I said, we're talking about, the morally superior as they keep themselves, and, again, that's really funny. All of this is funny when you think about it, coming from the people that for years, kept saying, turn off Fox News, blah, da, 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 that the man can't do anything wrong, can he? Even though we were, look at all the headache we threw up against, like things, let's go with those bump stocks, or more recently, Epstein, all the differing of opinions we saw with Iran, and the bombings there in Iran, however the hell you want to pronounce it, mean tweets, cabinet picks, etc. The shit goes on, but the moral of the story is we're adults, and we never stop criticizing when it's justified, when something happened, which, believe it or not, things do happen, and we do talk shit. Want to know why? Because we're objective. And we're not like the crazy people on the other side. We just actually, need something to fucking happen before we freak out. But, let's get to the hypocritical left and everything they've seemed to, pretend never happened. In comparison to things we've seen them explode on, Republicans, and namely Trump, for whether they happened or fucking not. And, that they're still freaking out about. Again, if you're watching it, sorry, but I haven't had a goddamn camera on me in how long? Except for when I was on World Ablaze, which if you haven't fucking watched the most recent one, I was on there too. And if you haven't watched the show at all, the hell are you waiting for? Because George has a pretty fucking awesome show. And people should watch it. So, there's the plug. And if you don't want to be seeing this face and you're unhappy that you are, blame him too. Because here we are. But, if I'm not looking at the camera, my bad. Really, honestly, not fucking used to it. But, we'll start off with some little things here in the moral argument. And we'll move on, evolve to some bigger things. Finish it off with the one that irritates me to no end. Which shouldn't surprise anyone. Something surprises, just runs me straight through the wall. Up it, through it, over it, however the hell you want to see it. But we can get on some easier things. The people have the moral high ground. We can talk about kids in cages, even though none of them had anything to say. When Obama built the fucking things, no one had anything to say the last 4 years when anyone was in it. But when Trump did it, AOC was there. They were all there crying because there were kids in cages. Border numbers. Holy shit. I think, minus a few 100,000, don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but like Biden's first year was only outdone by Trump's, 4 total years by a couple 100,000. It was just record after record after record, and suddenly, there was no problem, no one cared. The Ukraine call under Biden. Under Trump, compared to Biden, when only one person said that Trump did anything wrong, even people that hated him that were in the room said he did everything right, and all hell broke loose and he got impeached in the House because they could, and that was the only reason why they could, because they had the fucking numbers. Again, morally superior people here just going after people because they fucking can, not because there's any precedent. Just get him! And you automatically have to fucking get him, apparently, whether he did anything or not, compared to all the shit that happened under Biden that no one even gave a shit about. I can get into it. Fuck's the point. It goes on and on and on. It goes on and on, my friends. Russia compared to the Democrats. And with the Democrats, especially shit. They all knew there was nothing, and they kept saying there was something. Not to mention any people's name, but the guy's kind of shifty. He loved to run his cunt box about it. He did. Kept saying there was all kinds of shit about it, even though there was nothing, and they all admitted that there was nothing, and they never had anything really substantiated, but they got the FISA warrants anyway. Which are supposed to be the hardest things, to get, but semantics. Apparently, never mind Russia, who actually has been proven paid for it. He was in the room to plot the thing. And now how apparently they're not going to go after him because it was, under, presidential duties that he had to do it. Yeah, so we had to falsely do all that so we could spy on Trump and create that whole narrative to undermine his whole entire first term that people are still running on now, even though people know that it was full of shit because, they were in the briefings. But semantics. Hillary, because she was part of it. The subpoenas, the servers in her basement, the destroyed devices that she was supposed to turn over, destruction of evidence, and she was literally wrote off completely okay. She was washed clean of everything before the investigation even started. Thanks, Comey. Appreciate it, homie. That was completely okay. We all pretend that didn't fucking happen, especially when she ran or anything else that she fucking does. To include running her fucking suckbox, which she hasn't stopped doing in years. And she probably never will. Deportations, they talk about Trump, never mentioned that Obama outdid him by a lot. Or needing congressional approval for airstrikes, which Obama did like just thousands without any, just his last year alone. Haphazardly dropping them fucking everywhere, but who's counting? Inflation, which is down to, with nothing, completely, bombed to pieces under, Biden. They just blamed it on everyone to include Putin, even though it was way up before he invaded anything. And they still ran on it and said, yes, go, even though it made absolutely no fucking sense. And it was happening before anything happened. But what the hell do I know? The hell do I know? I know that if you're watching this, that just got all weird. So, good job, Riverside. Appreciate you, homies. Just like a lot of things under him, though. He was counting under Biden and everything they were lying about. COVID handling. Trump listened to everybody, did the same. Took his advice, listened to them. Even said he wanted to open before they did. He's a bastard. Even though the rest of the world did a lot of the same things, and everyone says he handled it perfectly. They handled it great, but he was a miserable fuck. Because look at our deaths. Well, look at the size of our country compared to those countries. Our population, basic math. Or when Biden kept saying that, you had to get vaccinated. Remember, hurricane season's coming. Make sure you're vaccinated. That's the most important thing to do before hurricanes come to kill you. Make sure you get the jab. You fucking genius. Everyone ate that shit. Everyone pushed it. But, again, we could never push back about any fucking ridiculous, stupid shit. It's like it became the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Survey says he apparently can't read, but who's surprised at this fucking point? We can go to, some simpler things for people to understand. Because I know some people are confused. Nothing you can do about it. It's like, why did that music suddenly get really loud, or is it just me? But, the left is the party of the side of science, even though, they ignored anything about COVID. What the stats said, comorbidities, anything, going on there, natural immunity, anything. They just pushed for lockdowns and all that stuff. Or here's a big one. Basic fucking biology. Again, the second I say that, I'm a bigot, so don't want to go there. But, the party of science that ignores basic biology that we've had for fucking ever just to push crazy people to make them feel better about themselves, even though if you look at other stats like school shootings and everything, suicides, all that, none of them have gotten better. In fact, they've gotten worse. But again, what the fuck do I know? I can read and freely think, and but I just listen to everything that everyone says, and agree with it all. Those people push that. Summer 2020, remember when everyone said it was mostly peaceful protests. And politicians like Nancy, them were talking about how there's some, they're not going to be surprised if more things like this keep happening around the country. Never mind bail funds that even Kamala set up herself to bail out people that were burning shit down. People say shit didn't get burnt down, what? one fire is, officially turned it into a riot. Or how about here's one that ran the campaign. Very fine people on each side. Even though if you listen to the speech, the whole thing, it's still on YouTube. It doesn't take long. You can hear him talk about the anarchists and the crazy people and the racists and all those fucking people. But they're still, peaceful protesters. They're very nice people on both sides. People still believe that part. Or injecting bleach or just proves how fucking stupid they all are. Hopefully the whisper didn't hurt your ears too much. I tried not to, but they're fucking stupid. And if I said it any more excitedly, I might blow your fucking ears out. No one needs that shit, do we? I can't get held responsible for that. And the big argument about George Floyd's a saint and, Kyle Rittenhouse and all that, even though the guy that had his fingers blown off admitted that it was self-defense on the stand for the prosecutor. Like, star witness came up and said, he didn't act aggressively or point anything at us until we started chasing him down. We swung the skates of, the trucks of our skateboard at his face and tried to steal the thing. Then he defended himself with a weapon that he owned properly and legally that he could carry legally. And it might add, he had his father there, lifeguarded there, grandmother there, whatever it was. And all that, and had family there, and actually stayed there. People that he shot came over twice as far to get there. Well, I know, though. But I do remember them saying that, we need to shut up because we're talking about how cool Luigi Mangione was. That'd be the people on the left. And they said that the right has no, right or ability to say anything about them making him a hero after we make Kyle Rittenhouse hero. Actually, fun fact for anyone that has a brain. Say it with me. He was legally carrying it in self-defense. If the people on the left just understood that and stopped just making him out to be a fucking white supremacist psychopath, never mind the people that were felons that had guns that were going after him that shouldn't have had them. Forget all that. Go after him for self-defense legally. There's the difference. Self-defense, cold-blooded murder in the middle of the street. Broad daylight. I think there's completely different scenario going on there. But what the fuck do any of us know? Really, fuck it. That's the difference for everyone that says we don't get to say anything. You guys made him out to be a fucking hero with this and that and everything. We just said it was self-defense. You guys kept running that he was a Klansman, racist. He shouldn't have carried it. He shouldn't have anything. But even the star witness admitted it was self-defense. But you guys don't want to listen to any of that shit. Because, none of them can do anything wrong. Actually, you guys just can't see anything right even when it's punching you directly in the teeth. It could do this to you. If you're watching that right there. That truck did, that's the half tooth. When I got hit. The other half is in the roof of my mouth. It actually snapped off. It didn't push in, but it could hit you in the face that fucking hard. I still won't believe it. What the hell do I know again? We can get on to January 6th. Yes, people, little notes just so I can stay on track. It's on big old scripts. But I got brain damage, I admit that. So here we fucking go. When they say that was the worst thing ever since, Pearl Harbor or Civil War, everything they compared it to, but, and then L.A. burned to the ground. That was peaceful. 2020 was apparently, those riots were peaceful. And let's not talk about all the liberals that have taken over state capitals, the nation's capital, the offices, those buildings that, senators and Congress people, all of them working, for their anything, just take it right over. That's considered okay. Same thing when they're storming it, they're taking over the building. Just try to stop people from doing things, but it's okay if they're on their side. And look what they do. And if you can say anything about that might be way more peaceful, but look at the riots. That's allegedly peaceful and we're racist if we say it isn't. Boom. See? I keep looking at the microphone like there's no one here. Hi out there in the real world. Russian bounties on our troops, remember that? Never confirmed, but heads exploded the second they heard it. Hi, Drew. I know you're not watching or listening because I'd hear anything that you don't agree with. No matter how factual it is. They never confirmed. But, their heads exploded the whole entire time. The second they heard it was nonstop. Why didn't he do anything? Why wouldn't he do anything? Well, it wasn't confirmed. And why would we want to put our troops in harm's way by just blurting it about Russia if they're not doing anything? That's the part the liberals don't think of. They're not doing it. Why wouldn't they do it then? If they were doing it, why wouldn't they suddenly just start popping us off just because they could? Like, it ends negatively for the people that are actually in harm's way, not the stupid cunts that are here just flapping their jibs because they've never done anything with their fucking lives. No offense to him. But, look at the way they freaked out about that and then how successful they said the Afghanistan withdrawal was. Not even getting into that. The anniversary is coming up. The anniversary is pretty much, let's just say it's fucking here. Because I don't know when you're going to say this. So, see this. Listen to it. We'll just say it's fucking here. And we know they're not going to talk about it. But I haven't forgotten 13 people. I've forgotten all the people that are now. Yeah, and what happened the second we left without telling anyone? Just left all of our shit there. That's all I'm going to say about it. We'll get into another episode talking about it. But remember how they treated the withdrawal compared to just that rumor about the Russian bounties on our heads. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, let's go with something simple. Trump and Mar-a-Lago. You can say whatever you want about taxes, how they did this, but he, got extra money on loans, paid it all back, do all of his stuff. The tax thing, that's a whole nother thing. Funny how they didn't figure any of this out until, New York did it. To try to take his stuff. And even though they said they can get rid of Mar-a-Lago because he overdid all this, they said they can get hundreds of millions of dollars if they sold it, even though they said it was only worth like $10, which is what the whole thing was built off of. But, look at the way that happened. Then we'll go to Jon Stewart and his penthouse. Estimated value, assessed value $1.8 million. Tax assessed value $847,000. Sold it at $17.5 million at an 895% uptick. Not a word on how sketchy that has to be, because there's no way that makes sense. There's no way the banks are going to give people the money. If it says that, they're not going to give you that much extra money. They're not just going to say, here's $18 million. Tax assessed $847. Assessed value $1.8 million. Like, they're not going to just drop another $16 million just because they can. Not a word about anything he did or anything, or how shitty or sketchy or anything. That looks just like a lot of other things. I'm just throwing it out there. Back to smarter stuff. Election integrity and results. Hillary still says it was stolen in 2016. It's been proven that it wasn't Russia, and Russia's actually proven that they actually withheld putting information about Hillary out that they had on her from when they hacked into her servers, which is what got her in trouble in the first place. We're not circling back around here. We're having full circle moments. We're not just going to say we'll circle back. We're completing the fucking circle, which is why she got canceled, and I'm here. Said was that even though it was proven, all I know saying that, figure out how it was stolen from Kamala. But, Trump even, or any of us mentioned, hundreds of thousands of votes just popping up in Michigan out of fucking nowhere in the middle of the night when no one's supposed to be there. YouTube, anyone else, get mad at me. I even had this argument with Drew. Hi, Drew. See, I'm going to mention him again sooner or later. Listen. When he said, well, they were mail-in. Biden was winning the mail-in. I was like, yeah. He was getting 3 out of every 4, not 100% of a couple 100,000. In multiple places. Like, I'm sorry if that's not something to be sketchy about and just weird in general. I mean, it's just weird, but if you say that, you get sued. They're trying to run Giuliani out of my. They went after Mike Lindell out of my. They're going after everybody. People have been jailed, bankrupt, sued, everything, all cheered by the left. But the second we mention anything sketchy, they do. We're crazy, and we shouldn't be saying anything, and it's a threat to our democracy. Because they're, everyone's equal. Unless you're not a liberal, then you're not allowed to do fucking anything, and you have no rights. Endless wars, because that's a fun one that we've seen recently, isn't it? Big smile. We do the airstrike on Iran. Heads roll about endless wars. We have no need to be there. We didn't vote for it. We didn't want to be in there. We didn't vote for this. Yeah. Ukraine. Patted my pretty blue eyes at you. That's all I got to fucking say about that with endless wars. Classified documents. Trump's handling. Hell, wonder why it got thrown out? Because all the presidents have them. A lot of them have them. Obama had them. Clinton had them. We found them with Biden. We found them with Pence. Well, all kinds of people had them. It's funny the FBI's got thrown out with Trump after they raided him, even though they knew everyone else had them. Because, they put classified and top secret and all this stuff like those file heads on the letterhead pages on top of the folders, which is tampering with evidence. Because everyone does it. They just went after him for it. Hell, Biden had some from when he was a senator. We didn't even have fucking authorization to have him. They were literally just sitting in a box in his fucking garage. That's okay. Obama, okay. Hillary, okay. Mike Pence, oh, it's okay. Took him back. Everyone, like Joe had him in like 7 different places. Wrote it off. Trump, worst thing ever. Please enlighten me how we think our guy can't do anything wrong when you're just another passing for all your people. Like nothing ever happened. Gun laws. All the stuff about, gun show loopholes and background checks and, people lie that need to go to jail. Yada, da, da, da. We need all these things, even though background checks happen at gun shows and all that. But here's another one. Hunter Biden. Lied on it, on the background check form, got the gun. The female at the time disposed of it in a fucking garbage can across the street from a school. Super more felonies. Bad things could have happened. Nothing happened to him. Never mind the tax evasion or anything else. Getting, Bo's widow all strung out and sleeping with her within a week of him dying. Like, they don't even get into the moral fucked up of that. But, there's that. No one was above the law. Except for illegals. They broke the law. If they came back, they really broke the law. First one's a misdemeanor, the second time's a felony. A lot of them are repeat offenders. But if we go after them, that's bad. ICE is bad for going after them, enforcing federal law. Rioters, they're perfectly justifiable. It's peaceful. Using taxpayer money in cities that are bankrupt as fuck. Hello, Chicago. How's that one going? How you doing? Sorry, it was a very bad Enzo, but Enzo was very bad, so I think we're even. All those laws that were broken, but no one's above the law, right? Unless they're on the left. And close out border security. Here's a big hypocritical one. Border bill 2024. Democrats freak out, run their whole entire campaign saying we don't care about the border bill. Trump tanked it just to make himself look good. And we don't care about border security. Okay, the bill gave money to Ukraine on like page 4. Look it up. I did. I read it way back when. Which is why I thought you were all fucking idiots on the other side. It's amazing. We didn't pass it because it gave money to all over God's creation, did nothing. It just legalized what's been happening in the last 4 years because it wasn't legal. It was dereliction of duty, all kinds of things people should be impeached over, but why'd we do that? It's a big uniparty, don't you know? They're showing that. It's another story. But, the second they lost, it's amazing how they're, against deportations and ICE doing their job and enforcing federal laws, even though the numbers are down to, actual historic numbers. It's amazing, though, isn't it? We don't care about border security, but then we get in charge and we actually start doing things and enforcing border laws, and suddenly the left is using taxpayer monies in cities that don't even have it to fund things to disrupt ICE and stop them from doing deportations and enforcing federal law and actually securing the border. Yeah, America. And this isn't the last one. It's but it's a big one. Here's one, because this was a big fucking headache for 4 years, too. So something to do with that word right there. Actually, I'm just using this because my hair is in that weird in-between where I can't get it back, but I can't do anything with it right now. It's awkward. So you get the hat. It's giving me a fucking headache. But presidential pardons. Whether they're for things that allegedly happen, if they're preemptive. Anything. They go back decades on someone who's allegedly a fucking angel and did nothing. Can't imagine who that is. Even though Trump, when he was the head exploder in charge, literally, whenever people even mention it, he didn't even say he said he wasn't going to do it. But just at the thought of it, liberals' heads would explode. Like at the end of the movie, Ready or Not. If you ever watched it, you get it. I didn't think it was going to happen, but we're like, holy shit, okay. And all that, Trump said he wouldn't. Because innocent, and all the left was saying innocent people don't need pardon. What? Of course he's going to do, because they did something. Innocent people don't need them. He didn't do it. It's amazing, though, how, there and all these people, God knows how, because it wasn't Joe, it was all the auto pen. But, Fauci goes back decades. For all the stuff, he said he allegedly wasn't doing, even though Rand Paul's like, no, really, I can read this shit. I'm a doctor. That's what you were doing. It's funny how he gets pardoned for that long, isn't it? It's a real question for anyone on the left if you're actually here. I hope you're here. The fuck would they have to pardon that far back for? It says everything. Hunter, who allegedly used the auto pen to do his own. God, like that just sums up fucking what was happening in the last administration that everyone on the left is fucking ignoring altogether. Because the man was gone. Hello, his doctor, personal one. You know, his testimony when he got brought up to Capitol Hill, pled the fifth and left. Because pretty much, was he fucking gone the whole time? Yep. Except if he says that when he said he was clear, then he's fucked. So he pleads fifth. Which answers the fucking question. Sorry if I got loud a second ago. But it's true. Those beautiful, morally superior people. But my big one, which is the moral thing of all this for the people that say we're the vile, hateful, racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, hateful, vile, morally bankrupt people. While at the same time saying it's okay to hate conservatives, push back against conservatives, tell them they don't belong here, be violent against them, make jokes about how mad you are that the former president didn't get assassinated. Like all the things like that. I know, because you guys are so fucking happy and nice to people. Okay, let's ask some questions, and hopefully, again, someone on the left is listening, but you can't deny any of this, because I'm 1,000% correct. And guess what? All these things agree with what you people say all the time. Here we go. What? Calling all African Americans criminals. What? Stereotype them that way. Wrong. Right? Right. Calling all Hispanics illegal. Definitely wrong. Right? There we go. Calling all Chinese good at math. Also wrong. Saying all Jewish people are good at math. Wrong. Money, I mean, good. This is another, these are all bad things. Which is why I say good. Because we all agree. It's bad. Shouldn't do it. Stereotyping all the people into one giant group is a bad thing. At least that's what the left keeps telling us, and what people with actual brains understand that it's a person's character that makes them a piece of shit, not just the color of their skin or what they are. Yeah, what do I know? Saying here's one saying all Muslims are terrorists. That one's definitely fucking wrong. And they keep saying, what? Hitler, blaming everything on the Jews and just turning everything against them and making it okay to persecute them and hate them and to do everything they did to them, which made the Holocaust happen. We've all gone down in history saying that is probably the worst thing ever, right? Again, even everyone on the left. You can't deny that. But all the people that say we're violent and hateful, we agree with all those things that we just said there, yet the people on the left are literally taking everyone that isn't a liberal, just because we have differing in policy, are saying that, we're the most hateful, vile, useless fucking people on the face of the planet, that everything's our fucking fault, that every bad thing is our fault, that the country's going to fall apart if they don't do something about us, and that we're all the worst things to ever happen and just dehumanizing us, which is why people are, what? Why'd we lose Tenacious D? Oh, wait, because Jack Black asked him what he wanted for, his birthday when he wished him out a cake to the other guy in Tenacious D. And he said, what do you want? Don't miss next time. Which is why, Tenacious D is, on a nice long sabbatical, because even Jack Black went, shit. Why is it wrong to put all those other people into a box? Because of what it can do and everything that it did, but it's okay to say everyone that doesn't agree with you is just a racist, vile pile of shit, even if they're related to you, know them for forever. It's okay, what? Don't spend holidays with them. Treat them like they don't fucking exist. Yes, dehumanize all of them just because they don't agree with you. Like, if you think any of that's fucking right, I'm sorry, there's no fucking saving you in the first fucking place, because there's no saving you, actually. Like, you're not, like even, part of the problem. You're not what's wrong with this country. You're going to be what ends the whole entire fucking thing, because you're a vile, miserable sack of shit. You're too fucking up your own ass to realize it. How the hell are you going to say that stereotyping anyone is wrong and then throw a whole entire half of the country into a fucking one big thing and say it's okay to just treat them as miserably as you can because we don't agree with you? I know people that think that pickles shouldn't be on hamburgers. I'm not going to say it's okay to fucking, hate them and treat them like they're lesser than because of that. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Well, you think the border should be open, we think it should be shut. It shouldn't be a fucking hateful, vile, miserable thing, but here we fucking are. And I don't get it. I don't like it. But, again, it's where we are. It's what's happening. And, I don't like it. No one should like it. But, something's got to wake those motherfuckers up. All I know is if I'm wrong for throwing a whole group of people into any box ever, just because I can, why the fuck is it okay to do it to all of us and just treat us like dog shit just because we don't agree with you? Like, if you think that's okay and you justify that, you're actually a pile of shit. That's kid tested. Mother approved. I'm a Marine Corps OIFOE veteran, and I approve that fucking message. Because I've gone places, I've done things I've seen in the world, and I've never just, I've left my hometown. I've left my basement. I've left my state. I've done things other than just stay in my local area and shitting on a whole group of people just because you fucking can and cutting them off actually makes you the hateful piece of shit. As you just gave up on trying to find anything you agree with, you just believe on what you say, don't want to hear anything they have to say, and just shut them out like they didn't fucking exist. That. Therein lies the problem. But that's where I'm going to leave it. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this thing didn't get too shitified. I said I'll lag a few times. So if it did, my bad. I'll try to figure it out. Maybe I'll use Zoom next time. But check out 2146media.com for all the updates. Check out the website. Check out YouTube, Rumble. I appreciate y'all. It's coming out soon. Peace.